Self-love is the new sexy, the podcast devoted to helping you overcome life's most painful and stubborn challenges so you can feel great, have more energy, and live stress-free every day. To reach your full potential, simply work with the powerful spiritual principles that are readily accessible to everyone. It's easier than you think, and on today's show, W. Mark Watts is going to show you how starting with self-love is the key to joyously and harmoniously making that happen.
Hey everybody, this is W. Mark Watts. Welcome and thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Self-Love is the New Sexy. Today's episode is the 2 best ways to overcome life's biggest challenges. The 2 best ways to overcome life's biggest challenges. Now, today's episode is top of mind because I'm reading so far a pretty interesting book. Book's called Life is in the Transitions, Mastering Change at Any Age by Bruce Feiler, I think is his name. It's Feiler. Life is in the Transitions. That title caught my attention. I think I might have found it on LinkedIn. I was looking at maybe Huffington Post or something like that. Saw the title of the books. It caught my attention. And anytime something catches my attention, that means that I need to do a little bit more research. So I started to read a little bit about the book and realized that it was probably something that would be of benefit to me. So I bought it and I've started reading it. And I'm pretty certain that it will be a good resource for me at this place in this time. Which is what guided me, because I'm talking with people, reading stories, and I'm seeing things that are occurring and that have been occurring for years and that will continue to occur, and regardless of how old you are. And so I just wanted to speak on this for a few minutes, because I know sometimes when you're in the midst of a struggle or challenge or an obstacle, it doesn't look rosy, and it can look like it's not going to end, and it can be tough, very tough, while you're going through it. Now, so far, I've not gotten too far in the book, but he's outlined what he calls a deck of disruptors, which is ultimately the 52 various reasons or various instances that have disrupted people's lives at any given time. The age doesn't matter. And he points out that, while I'm bringing this book up, is he points out that every adult will go through at least 3 to 5 life disruptions in their lifetime. At least 3 to 5. And a life disruptor is something that really throws you off your game, something that you did not see coming, something that was not planned, something that is horrible, tragic, something that alters your life in a major way. So he's saying that the research that shows that regardless of who you are, where you live, you will see at least 3 to 5 major disruptions in your life. And I imagine that if you're listening to this podcast, you've experienced some of those disruptors. And I'm raising my hand right now because I've seen plenty. And I know what they feel like. And I know how long they can last. And I know the effort it takes. And so that's why I wanted to speak on it just for a few minutes today. Not going to belabor this point. But I did think that it was super important to just speak on it because it was on my heart. And when it's on my heart, you guys know I have to let it flow, right? I have to get it out of here so I can move on to the next thing that the universe has guided me to speak about. Now, we're going to assume that Bruce is correct. I know my life proves it. I think if you look at your life, you'll prove it. Your life will prove it. Look at the other lives, people around you, it will prove it as well. So let's just say that's a fact. If we are going to be human on this planet, we are going to come across major life disruptions. And he talks about many different stories of various challenges that people have overcome or had to deal with in their lives, and thus overcome, move through, deal with. And that is a given. So the point is that those challenges are going to come, right? It is our job to figure out how to handle them and continue to move forward. Not to get stuck, not to allow them to overtake us, not to give up, but to overcome them, to move through them, to thrive in spite of. That's not to say these transitions don't take a little while to get through, because they do. They do. However, the key is we have to move through them. We have to deal with them. So what are the two ways that I've found in my life and that I've worked with people that when you boil it all down, how do you move through those things? You know, when life comes at you real hard, throws you that curveball, just really knocks you back, knocks you off your feet, you know, takes your breath away and takes life away, you know, because I've been through quite a bit myself, and I know that you guys have been through quite a bit as well. You know, you name it, almost. You know, I've experienced some variation of that. You know, to losing or both parents, the death of both parents. I've witnessed, I've seen that in my life. You know, divorce. You know, breakup of another relationship that I was totally vested in. You know, being fired from a job. You know, I've seen so much in my life and had to deal with so much that when I think about it, I'm like, well, what did I do? You know, when it came down to it, when things were really tough, what did I do at the end of the day? So let's get to it so I can get on out of here. First thing is, you got to come up with the plan, and you got to believe your plan. No matter what, you have to come up with the plan, and you have to believe that plan. It doesn't matter if it's a bad plan, because I've had bad plans. It doesn't matter if it's a good plan. I've had good plans. You know, I've had mediocre plans. I've had no plans. But the key is, you've got to come up with something. When things get super tough on you, you have got to come up with a plan. So whatever that is, whether it's asking for assistance from someone else, doing research, taking a second job, getting help, you know, talking to people about what's going on in your life, you know, whatever it, you know, meditating, getting out in nature, whatever it is, you have to come up with the plan, and you got to believe in it. And by believing it, I mean, you got to execute on it. You've got to believe in it so much that it's got to become the holy grail in your life. You have to take action on that plan each and every day. And if the plan needs to change, so be it. But you've got to. No one else is responsible for this. No one else is responsible. You are responsible. So when life is at its darkest, you've got to some kind of way find the strength, find the mental fortitude to formulate some plan, even if it's just a step one. We don't need the full Monty right now. You just need step one. What's the first step of your plan? Get up and execute it. And then if you have to do it again, do it again. Then what's the next step of the plan? Move on that. But you've got to come up with the plan of action, and you've got to stick to it. You've got to believe in it, because even if that particular plan doesn't work, being in motion will take you to the next step that might be the plan, that might be the answer that you're looking for. But you've got to be in motion, and you got to believe. I mean, you just got to believe with all your heart and might, everything you've got. Secondly is, you've just got to know, you've got to trust that the universe has your back. God has your back. Whatever you believe in, the highest power, whatever you call the highest power in the world, in this universe, understand that it has your back. It is going to be there with you. It is going to support you. Those resources are there. There's various ways to reach out, whether it be physically someone here on the earthly plane, whether it be a spirit guide, an angel, whatever the case may be. There are powers beyond sometimes our comprehension that are there helping us along this way, providing knowledge, providing insights, providing the resources. So just know, because I can tell you, there were many times when, I've really just looked up and looked around and felt like, wow, nothing is, this is it. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, or how I'm going to get around it, or I don't know when this is going to get better. And I've heard the voices. I've seen, the person step in. I've received a phone call, or I've taken that step where I've gotten that job, or I've talked to that person, just maybe needing them to listen, just to hear me out. Not looking for advice or anything, or could be, someone's, really helped me out, financially, or just sat with me or listened to me, whatever the case may be. I've witnessed it because it's happened in my life. And that's why I just want to encourage you guys, because I know someone out there may be listening and maybe in the throw of something, because that's something else that book talks about, is that if you're not in the midst of dealing with a disruption in your life, trust me, someone someone in your inner circle is in the midst of one. And probably more than one person is in the midst of a major life disruption. So if it's not us, it helps everyone if we are aware of it, number one, and we're able and willing to be maybe that resource, maybe that shoulder, maybe that person who provides an extra prayer or a meal, whatever. Maybe you can be that person in someone's life to help them get through it. So I'm going to end there because I feel a sermon coming on, and that's never the intent of my episodes. I like to give you some nuggets and get out of here. But, I want to close 2 best ways. Come up with that plan and believe in it, execute it, just take it on. It's about what you're doing in that moment. What can I do in this moment to help my case? And number 2, believe and trust and understand that the universe, God, the divine, whatever you want to call the highest power that you believe in, has your back. It's here to support you. So just keep going. Just keep trying. Just keep asking. And the answers will be provided. And you will get through these things. So hang in there. I know it can be tough sometimes. We all going to face these disruptions in our lives. And we all are equipped and ready and able to handle them. We just got to take care of our business. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today. I'm out of here. Look forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Be good. Bye now.
You've been listening to Self-Love is the New Sexy with W. Mark Watts. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to tell a friend. Also, make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to our show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you listen to podcasts.